All right. Welcome everybody back to another episode from Masterwork Adventures. As usual, I'm your DM Johnny, and this is the crew. You've probably tuned in and seen us all several times before with some new additions. We have been playing a new game here recently. It has been a while. Sorry about that since I've been able to come back in and get into this. But we've been running a new game called Gestaltia, and that's it has kind of shaped into a new crew with us. If you've watched the last episode, we had a couple more characters, but with some scheduling changes, meet your new team. Um, we still have the same characters that are running from before with Uzanor, Celise, Littlefoot, and hold on, what was this name again? Mr. No, no, it's not Mr. Giggles. What was your name, Eric?
Terry. Terry.
Terry. Yes,
Yes.
and Terry the gnome conquistador. um so we are continuing their story. We're going to be adding in a new character here soon, but he'll come a little bit later. If you watched last time, the group had just recently um
Thank you.
visited and very much enjoyed their stay at one of the local bathhouses where they had a magical evening, and a very expensive one. Now, their expensive tastes ended up landing them in quite a debt, which unfortunately also put the owner in a bad predicament. Now he is in debt really bad with a loan shark that is trying to press him to take his bathhouse and his precious salamander Sandy. Um, and Uzanor stood up and was unable to let that happen and had rallied the group together to assist the bathhouse owner and
Actually, I
and
think it was because he couldn't pay the enormous bill that somebody ran on
uh, there
him.
that makes a lot more sense. but but he definitely does like to make sure that this is the image that he puts out. So that's but you all know how it's working. Um, Now Terry, obviously the noble chivalrous knight has also thought this quest was something that needed to be done because Sally needed to be protected. I mean, y'all did have a very interesting night with her. Now you guys have heard of a way that you might be able to rescue this bathhouse keep. What the heck are they called? Like, what is the title of that? Anyways, that you might be able to rescue this guy out of his contract by finding him some treasure that you think might actually be of equal value. Recently, you were told that there is a very valuable artifact being transported to the city right now. Rumors on the street have talked about the Black Prince's ruby being brought back into town. Now, apparently, somebody has defeated and conquered another dungeon and has discovered a an amazing relic. And they are transporting it back uh, to um, to the city, and you have been urged to believe, or you have been urged into thinking that if you can acquire this object, maybe that you might be able to settle your debt and thus save Sally. The man who had brokered the deal with you, I believe his name was Helm, said that he could put you into contact with a citizen who is quite proficient at infiltration. He has in-depth workings of uh, the school for wayward children, and has quite a reputation for already causing a little bit of some trouble there. So you guys like spend the next day kind of trying to find out what you can about the place while waiting for your contact to meet you. You are told to meet at a very clandestine location. There is a bell tower that overlooks the orphanage, and he wants to meet you there at midnight tonight. So you spend most of the day kind of already doing what little research that you can, checking the place out, kind of gathering as much information, seeing how people come in and out and stuff, and you realize that the place uh, is pretty locked down. They don't exactly it's they don't exactly advertise that they are that it is very much a prison behind the walls, but they don't let many of the kids out very often. You do see lots of traffic going in and out, but these are never people that these are never the as they call them, the students. Uh you get there, your typical food carts to get brought in, supplies and stuff like that. There is traffic that goes in and out through the main gate of the courtyard, and the building itself is massive. It is a large six spired building with two very wide spires rising out of the front, with several more uh, several more composing of a large building central structure. You spend your day kind of doing your things. Actually, how would y'all go about spending your day?
While we're waiting for this guy?
Yes, you are supposed to be meeting him at midnight on.
Well, I wanted to. I don't know what we did between this, but I wanted to. I wanted to go try to adopt a child.
Oh,
Can I just go in there and pretend like I?
Oh, that's right. We were gonna case the joint.
Yeah, just see if I can help one of these poor children, give them a good home.
What a marvelous idea.
Oh yeah, I think Uzanor was supposed to be your partner in this, actually.
Yes, me and Uzanor. Have I been able to conceive for one reason or another? I don't know. And we're just looking for our own little bundle of joy.
I can't stand in the way of your happiness. If that's what you want to try to do, I if it let's go on ahead and see how that could work. So you just plan on kind of just walking up and inquiring about buying a child or adopting a child.
Buying.
Dying in general.
Well, let's see. Do you have any means of disguising yourself,
Is there-
Uzanor? You seem
Oh,
like a
yeah.
very
I can be
shifty
whoever
fellow.
you want me to be.
Same. So I guess just how disguise self to look like well-to-do, not in full armor and you know
Sure.
all that, but
Would you
just a
would you
nice
still
suit.
would you still have your fox mount with you?
Oh shoot, I can't really make him look different.
Put
Uh,
a sheet over
I
him.
no, I mean he could travel alongside of me. He's the latest technology. It just proves that I'm worth it.
I mean, that's a really good point. Also, you see a lot of strange sights around here, so I don't think that your fox stands out in any real particularity. Uh,
So, well, he is gifted with a silver tongue, probably more so than I. Uh, he can talk
so
circles around these people, but if you'd allow me, I'd like to, yes, go up and knock on the
and
door or
try.
whatever I need to do.
All right. Well, that's easy enough. The rest of the group, what would y'all be thinking of doing?
To like midday right now.
Sure. I mean, it's around as much. I mean, you guys kind of, spent a little bit of time walking around and seeing how things worked, and you had kind of conceived a little bit of plan of having them go in to kind of talk the way around so they can get a little bit more of an idea of what's going on the inside. What would you two be doing? Would y'all be joining them, or maybe just browsing? As out, if someone came up to you with.
Are there like, is it like plentiful and are there like rats or other like street animals around here? Like,
Oh, yeah, the city does have a lot of life. Strange things. Yes, rats are common. Beautiful, beautiful birds. Sure. Like there's a myriad of creatures and rodents that are around.
all right, I just want to try and like get the attention of one of the birds, just like maybe a few pieces of bread or like some berries from the staff. Just kind of get one to come over.
Okay, all right. You're going to be luring a bird over to you. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know where this one's going, but that'll be fun to see. Um, Tess, where would you be going about with things?
I'm probably gonna try and stick a little close to the orphanage, but I'm also gonna really try to find somewhere shady that doesn't burn my eyes to be outside.
Okay, so lurking around in the shadows with Dean, kind of not far from you, like hopping around and you're managing. Actually, give me a charisma saving throw, or
Why?
maybe like a persuasion or an intimidation to see exactly how well you can keep control of Dean.
Oh, okay. Did that go to roll 20? Yeah.
It probably did.
7.
Ooh, okay. So you're kind of keeping to the shadows. I'm assuming maybe like a thin cloak up, like
Yeah,
not
I
nothing
do
real.
have. I mean, I do have the cloth that I grabbed when we got here over my
Okay.
eyes, but
And so like you're kind of
not fitting.
dangling it over you, or like and it's not really concealing too much of your face, but it's keeping the sun off you, everything, and you're kind of sticking to the shadows the best you can while Dean is causing just not in a muck and not a huge scene, but poking around in places and kind of seeming to bug people a little bit, asking what's this, what's that, trying to buy random things while you're just it's actually really helping you. That while people are busy looking at Dean, they are not looking at you. Okay, so your little berries and everything are attracting a bird to you. It's a beautiful bird. They're just simply referred to as the birds of paradise. They have very vibrant plumage, and even they kind of shimmer a little bit as their wings flap.
All right, and then once the bird like kind of pulls up and he like perches like on the branch of staff, I want to just cast speak with animals real quick
Okay.
and be like, hey, fly here often? Uh,
And it's just and it kind of like walks over to you and
oops.
I guess so. Speak with. All right. So it kind of looks around and it looks at you up and down. Looks at the berries. Looks at you and it's yeah. It flies everywhere often.
Yeah, that makes sense. The birds do that.
It's a bird. What I
Uh,
do?
do you like berries?
Berries, and it kind of like ruffles up a little bit and it's like, yeah, I like berries.
I could give you some more berries if you help me with something.
Berries, cool. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, I was just wondering, if in a second you could just kind of go over the little wall and go fly around and see what's going on over there. How's that sound?
Okay.
Alrighty. But before you do that, just real quick, and I'm also going to cast Beast Sense on it so I can see through its eyes and
Nice.
use all its senses.
Okay, all right. So, and also by handing it a couple berries, and you're sitting there and kind of talking to it, and I guess maybe petting it or something. You kind
Softly,
of
it's big
your
hands.
spell.
Gotta
You cut out on me. I didn't hear you.
got big furbolgs. Got big hands. We gotta be careful with the bird. Don't wanna.
So, well, your spell goes through, and like as it kind of turns away, its eyes light up, and you can see through it. You kind of sit down, you plant your staff beside you, and you kind of sit cross-legged and everything, and just kind of look up, and your eyes roll back and shine, and you can see right through the bird's eyes, and it hops up and takes flight around the courtyard. As it's flying around, you see your friends Terry and Uzanor strolling through the the courtyard, which is mostly empty. But when I say mostly empty, there isn't many people kind of off on the sides. Most people are near their carts and helping unload things and such, but no one's just kind of running around aimlessly around here. People are either in the middle of delivering something or exiting the grounds. Like this doesn't really it's not like it's definitely not like a playground. You're not seeing people like kids just
Do
running around and
I
sitting in
see kids
areas
at
or something like
all?
that. No, except for those that are helping unload packages. They're kind of like you kind of see them, and they're just carrying some of the stuff off and leading it in. Some of them got wheelbarrows and or dolly like things, and they're just bringing packages inside. But
Can I
um
just roll like I guess just a general insight check on the kids and their disposition?
okay, okay, sure.
5. They look they look like they've got strong backs.
It's-
Doing a good job. I used to work hard when I was young, and it's good to see these kids
Hard work
earning a
builds character.
And ooh,
building.
You don't know yourself till you've thrown up from overexhaustion.
And like
Absolutely.
that's like um so the bird notices that the kids like kind of give like sharp looks towards Uzanor and Terry, and kind of just go back to their business, and you can kind of hear them mumbling stuff about okay boomer.
I gently pat him on the head, and I slip a copper piece into his pocket. Don't spend it all in one place.
so as the bird's flying around, I just want to like take a note if there's anyone on like walking around who looks like they might be armed or like
Give me a
just
perception check.
using the bird stats because I need those. If that's the case.
Yes, then that. Oh, if you need those, um, roll a dice and let's see what happens.
8. Would it have
8.
advantage on site-based checks?
A lot of birds do.
Okay, all right, sure. Let's go with that one.
It's gonna be a 9. 11.
11. Okay, well that's not bad. Even if they had, like a +5, that's a 16. Okay, so there is something that does catch the bird's eye. That's a little odd. Kind of where the kids are like going, kind of like heading into the building. You see, that there's someone standing like close to a building, like under a tree. The bird could just barely catch a glimpse of them for a moment, and you kind of you kind of get it to swoop back around, and you see a guy kind of sit there, and he's talking to the kids as they're like carrying these little packages, and he walks over and he opens up one of them and shuts them, and kind of looks around. He's like just kind of like pacing back and forth talking to them. They're kind of like, the kids they're like, you see them like laughing and like joking with them and everything, and he kind of takes and he pulls an apple out of one of them and takes and like bites into it, and he flings it up in the air, and the kids just watch him kind of turn his back, and he spins around and he hurls something at the apples, and you see it just just slice into like 6 pieces at one time, and like fly around, and like the kids kind of like give him a little like a little cheer and everything. They go around, and he just kind of just hanging around in the corners. You almost wouldn't have spotted him before.
Okay, and when whenever the bird that's all I was really looking for. And whenever the bird gets back to me, I'm gonna say, if you go poop on the gray skinned one, I'll give you more berries.
On the gray skinned one. Which, oh,
Is that supposed to be me?
I think it is.
There's two Drow. I'm just saying.
I'm
I
not
didn't
gray
specify.
skinned. It's more of like a lavender.
Then I guess it's not
Well-
you, is it?
Oh no, actually the gray skinned one would be, oh sweet. So as you are walking through the door, a actually a young lady kind of comes up and greets you at the entrance. Like walks up and is like, gentlemen, how can I help you? What brings you to our establishment?
We're looking to adopt. Well, we haven't decided. A child, 2, 3, a dozen. Oh, I just love them all. We are wealthy. We have more money than we can count, and we were looking to adopt.
What he said, yes. We just have lots of love to give, and we want to see the children that you have, and I don't know, want to put a number on it. How many, maybe you could cut us a deal, depending on how many children we take off your hands today.
I love the adoption process. It's okay. Okay. So give me a deception check with advantage. Go for it. Let's see what you can get like walking through the door.
Do you want us to both roll, or just him roll with deception?
Well, he's got it. So let him go with it.
Yeah, I was just
Do
assisting.
you have any deception?
No, he would be much better at that.
I have double proficiency in deception.
Yeah.
I got a 23.
A 23. She kind of like is taken back a little bit, and she's like, well, you've come to the right place. There's many kids here who are just looking for that special someone to give them a home. Follow me. I would love to kind of show you the stock, as it were.
Fantastic. Lead the way.
And as you go to walk through the door, a bird shits right on your shoulder.
Prestidigitation. It's gone.
It's that's and she kind of stops and she kind of looks at you and she's like, "Oh well, I mean, I guess all magic has its uses. Please this way." And so she leads you into a large uh foyer. Now this hall it consists of several tables. It, yeah, you would be, I guess it would be right here. This big hall right here. It has several tables, a few stairs that lead off to the sides. It is very well lit, and there are several people kind of meandering about in here. You see several groups of kids kind of huddled around some of the tables. Some of them read, like all of them, like deep in thought with like reading books and stuff like that. Some of them are carrying some around there. A few are kind of crafting things. It doesn't really look like they're at a workbench to say, but they're just sitting at a table and they seem to be like working on like projects together and things like that. Um and she leads you in and she's like, "Well, so as you know, Gestaltia has it definitely has its share of dreamers and adventurers. However, not everyone's is quite a success here, and sometimes the the youngers, the children and such, they are left without a place to go. Well, the world out there isn't exactly kind to those with anyone to support them. So we try to rescue as many kids as we can and give them the best life that we can until they're able to strike out on their own. Now, usually we do have pretty strict policies on relieving us of a child because uh we've often had people try to come in here and use them for their and use them for their own benefits. So we do have kind of some we have a few questions and tests we might like to put you through if you are willing to, if this is really the route you're seeking. But before we go on that, why don't you go on ahead and meet a few of the youngsters around here.
Yes, we would love to take a tour of the place before we really get in the nitty gritty paperwork.
Well,
See how these.
unfortunately, we don't really offer much of a tour around the premises, except for
Oh,
here, the main library, and our outer courtyard. But if you would like, we can head over to the library where most of the kids receive their schooling.
what say you? Would that?
Yes, to see the kids in their natural habitat, absorbing information, would be best to see how they are taught.
Okay.
Can I make
Um,
an insight check to see if there's good intention with the kids or if they're running like a slave labor camp?
go for it.
16.
A 16. Um, something does seem a little off. The it when looking around at some of the things that are going on here, especially the kids like working on these little projects and reading and stuff, you can an actor knows an actor, and you can kind of you feel that there's some sort of ruse here. You can't quite pick up exactly what's going on and why why all of the kids would be doing this, but it's just something is awkward about the way that they're behaving around here.
Okay.
Um, so so let's see, Ethan.
Yes.
So you've been keeping your ear to the ground with the kids. Now you yourself also have heard the rumors of Class A's recent triumph and possibly returning with this hella awesome treasure. So you've been kind of pressing the kids for more information and such. Using your kind of typical parlor tricks to kind of keep them entertained and keep them talking. Here recently, you're actually kind of assisting them with some of their daily chores right now. You had many times actually snuck like through blatantly into areas that you weren't supposed to be, but you kind of you've befriended a few of them, so they do manage to get you out when you have drawn too much attention. So currently, right now, you're out in the courtyard, in one of the more servant entrances, as a group of kids are bringing in some of their daily supplies. You've been kind of pressing them and talking with them. One of them takes and kind of sets down a big old crate of apples and looks over at you, and and looks up at you and is like, if the headmaster catches you running around in here, you're due for another flogging.
Uh, would never happen. I guarantee you. So, have you heard anything about Group A lately? Heard they're almost the way back here.
And they kind of look around. They're like, yeah. Um, we all hear that once again the golden team A has had another victory, but none of us have been given too much information on what's going on with it. You know that. You know how it works around here.
Yeah, maybe we should play a prank on them. What if they bring back nothing?
Kind of like a bunch of them look around and they're like a prank, bring back nothing. What would you mean? What do you mean about that?
Well, you guys will probably get to meet them before they get to see the headmaster. You can always switch out their stuff for some mundane items.
I'm gonna need some sort of a check on that. Let's see what we could.
Anyone in particular, or just roll a
Let's
d20?
go with a persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay, yeah, I could do that. I got a 21.
Oh. They kind of all stop and they're looking around and looking at each other and they're like, it'd be really funny to see the headmaster's face when he opens up that box and there's nothing on the inside. But how would we get it? There's no way that we would be able to do that. You know how he likes to keep his treasures really secured.
I can always think we could just make a distraction, and the chaos we can switch it. I think I saw some interesting people walk in earlier. Maybe we could use them.
And like one of them kind of takes it. One of the older guys kind of takes it. And he kind of slams his crate down, and he's like, "Oh, so what's your name?"
My name?
Yeah, what's your character's name?
Oh, it's Mr. Giggles.
Oh, and so that's what they know you out as, Mr. Giggles. And
I am
kind of
literally.
slams.
If people don't know what I look like, I legitimately look like a clown. So it's not that weird for children to be like kind of drawn to me because I look fun, entertaining.
So frightening.
So he kind of slams his crate down, and he's like, darn it, Mr. Giggles. Now here you go again, trying to cause some trouble, and you're gonna get these kids hurt. How do you even know if these people who walked in here would even be willing to go along with your little prank?
Don't you worry about that. Of course they're interested. Let me talk to them.
And he kind of looks around at the others, and he's like, look, you all know that every time he comes up with one of his half-brain schemes, we all end up paying the price for it. But but you guys do what you want to do. I'm gonna go and continue with my chores.
Can I do it? Insight check. This guy's a snitch.
What's that?
This guy sounds like a snitch. Can I do it? Insight check on him.
All right.
What is my insight? That's not that great. Okay, another 20.
20. Actually, you definitely know he's not a snitch. He just really doesn't like you, because the last time that he listened to one of your plans, he was out standing on a pole, doing a balancing act for 7 days straight in order to make up for a crime that he was that you had let him take the blame for. So he's not a snitch, but he just is a little upset at you and your shenanigans.
All right. Pay him no mind, son. Just I need you to lure this guy somewhere so I can go talk to them. Remember that one corridor? Try to get him over there.
You want us to lure one of the new people?
One of the people just walked in. Yeah.
And they kind of look at each other, and a little girl kind of takes, and she kind of like lets her hair down. She kind of puts it up into like two little ponytails, shakes off everything. She's like, I think I can do that. And she kind of tries to make herself look as cute as she can. She looks around. She kind of grabs she's like looking around for something, and you like reach into your cloak and you pull out a little teddy bear, and you hand it to her, and she takes the little teddy bear, and she just goes off and goes walking to go do that for you.
Sweet. I can summon teddy bears.
We're actually we're making a really creepy vibe with this character here.
No, that's very much so the whole plan for this whole character. It just happened to
Okay, so Tassier, Celise, you and Dean are kind of still like working the outside, sticking in when you are sitting down and she's eating another piece of pie. She's just stuffing her face with more and more pie. You're kind of sitting there, and the heat's getting to you a little bit, but you're in a corner and you've got like a little fan, and you're trying to keep the keep a little breeze on you, and um you see two people kind of sit down, like really roughed up looking guys. They sit down, and they definitely look like they've have wounds that have been that they're recovering from. They're in solid shape, but they've recently, within the past week, have gone through some real troubles. They just got some bandages on their head. Most of it's all clean and stuff, and they're kind of like hanging out. And they turn around, and they order a drink at the bar. They kind of lean back on the bar and everything, and they're looking at the walls of the orphanage, and they're like, I can't believe that bastard did it. Now he's got himself another one of the artifacts being delivered. I swear, if it wasn't for these children of his, he never would have been able to rise to so much power. I don't understand how people just uh, let this stand.
I am going to kind of walk up to the bar and like lean in and make eye contact, obviously. And I'm like, hey, you know a lot about that orphanage over there? You said some guy who owns it? I have these friends, they're like thinking about buying a child or whatever you do with children.
Kind of look over at you, and they're just like, let's see. Well, let's see. Give me a. All right. So, what are you going for here? Are you trying to persuade them, intimidate them, or deceive them into giving you some information?
Well, I'm
that
just trying
sounded-
to have a conversation.
I know, and so that was an opener. Usually you're pretty intimidating with your thing. So would this be you on your more persuasive side?
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay, well, give me a persuasion roll.
Ugh. 7.
Y'all are doing great today. So I kind of look over at you. They're like, "Yeah, good. Good luck on passing your test to get to be able to adopt."
Excuse me, I'm not trying to adopt anything, particularly not a small child. Is that where you guys got all those scratches? Fighting children from the orphanage? Because
Whoa, no one has said anything about fighting the children. All right. No, we've been out there doing our job to make sure that these kids have the best information they can when they head out. He's like, he says that he's in there training them and giving them a better life, but I swear all he does is just use them to increase his own wealth.
That is actually a very ingenious use of children, now that I think about it.
And they're both just kind of just sitting there, just staring at you.
Oh, and terrible, yes, definitely
That's
morally wrong. Totally. So you get
yeah.
information. Where'd they go previously? Just out of curiosity. I'm new around here, and it's not very exciting.
Well, it's like, oh, so you're a newcomer to these lands. Well, um, apparently we got a tip that out at the hot gates there was an entrance to an underground dungeon out there, one shrouded in fire and brimstone. It's most groups weren't ready to be able to commit to something of such an extreme uh, difficulty, but I'm telling you that some of the teams that get run out of here, these kids, if they could ever get away from him, they have greatness about them. Um, they never should have tried. They never should have tried that, and they did it with only 4 people.
And they succeeded.
It is insane. They went into a lair that into a fire lair that it is a mini dimension of the elemental plane of fire, and that's where they recovered the artifact, the Black Prince's ruby.
Interesting. Must not have been that scary if a couple of kids could do.
It kind of looks like at that point, like the other one just puts their drink down, and they're like, "Look, some of these kids just play by different rules. We hit that same dungeon with 50 men and weren't able to and weren't able to get through it."
Well, that does not surprise me because first of all, men. Second of all, men from around here. That's hilarious, really. I'm not surprised those kids surpassed you at all. Anyway, thank you for your time. This was a pleasure. It really wasn't, but thank you. I walk back over to Dean.
All right. Yeah, that was so your bird is still kind of flying around. It's landed back already, and it's kind of like it's like pecking you in the head, and you kind of come out of your trance, and it kind of looks at you and gives you the berries.
Oh yeah, sure. No, give him a few more.
And takes and it eats the berries. And at that point, it eats the berries, and it's like, well, okay, thanks for all the fish. And
I don't
flies
have any
away.
fish. You get the fish. Were those fish, not bears? Oh.
Fish berries.
Do fish grow on trees and magic staffs?
I'm gonna shake the staff a little bit and see if any fish come out.
Smell it a little bit. There's no fish.
No. It wasn't a smart bird. Alright, I'll have to accept that then. And I'm just gonna go wander for a bit.
So just wander around.
Just wander, no goal whatsoever.
Now, no goal whatsoever. Just wandering around. Well, decide to wander, and you kind of turn and you take a step, because when you had found the birds, you kind of got up on top of a rooftop and was like talking with them, and you're like, oh, okay, and you just step right off the building and fall down and just poof into a bird and give yourself a light little landing, and then you're just walking around the streets.
Yeah.
Just meandering on. Okay. Uzanor and
Terry.
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 Yeah, so you are led across the courtyard, into a grand library. There are many, many rows of books here and such, and you see that there are kind of students fill this area a lot more. They're reading, they're up on rows, like looking at books and everything. You see several of them are like casting spells, like and like also like defending against each other. Few of them are kind of sparring and fighting in little areas and such, and very basic things. Actually seems to be like too aggressive and stuff, but you see just magic being worked all around.
Do your students specialize in the arcane?
And she kind of looks over and she's like, no, no. Some are a little more gifted than others. We try to find their natural attributes and hone them and give them the skills that they will need to survive once they are out on their own.
I'd like to go up to like a couple kids sparring.
Okay.
And just kind of observe them for a minute.
Okay. So you walk up and you're kind of looking around. You're seeing a few kids, banging swords and everything, and you look over, and what catches your eye is this young girl, kind of standing with a wide berth around her of several other students, all of which are male. They kind of seem to be all locked real in concentration, and then with an amazing synchronicity they launch attacks on her, and with a breathtaking flourish she begins to dance all around them, blocking swords, dodging, retaliating in kind, and just puts about 8 other guys all on the ground within a matter of seconds.
Marvelous! What is your name, darling?
She kind of looks over at you, and she takes her like the sword that she's using is like, when you look at it, it's a real sword, and it seems to be actually pretty sharp, and she she's it and kind of looks over at you, and she's like she's my name's Andromeda.
How long have you been here, Andromeda?
She kind of looks around, and she's like, well, not long enough to earn my cobweb tattoos, but I've been here for a little while.
Is that an inside joke? I do not understand.
She kind of laughs. She's like, a few of us have been in here so long. They say that we develop cobwebs all around.
Oh, I get it. Listen, Andromeda, it's very nice to meet you. That was just well, for lack of a better term, a whirlwind of display. That's quite magnificent. If I might offer some pointers,
yeah, some mansplaining would go really well. That's good.
it's not mansplaining. I'm not a mansplainer.
Please.
I gave her a compliment. I don't mean to
I was just being nice.
You do everything wonderful. You're so good. Keep it up. No, think if you
When she kind of looks at you, she's like, "Okay, Tiny, what type of pointers do you think you'd be able to offer?"
listen, number one, you shouldn't make fun of people for their size. It's It's just not nice.
She
Anyway,
Not a way to get
well,
ahead of
she kind of chuckles about that because she looks over and there's like a 6'3" dude that's like standing up. That's kind of like like his nose is split a little bit, and another tall elf male that's kind of like standing up, and you realize now that she's probably only 5'2" herself.
yes, absolutely. Size doesn't mean anything. Uh, really, what it is the strength inside your heart, and you truly possess a strong will. Uh, maybe curb. Try smiling more.
Oh my God.
That's the only advice I really had. Is just try smiling more. I was gonna be nicer, but
this is
Terry's
this
my favorite character.
and
anyway,
she kind of looks at you. She's like smiling more. That's that's a good one. You know what? Let's what would be a great laugh? Let's see let's see how well you would do. And she kind of takes and she goes for her sword, and like you see the lady that had just popped up that had was walking around kind of stand up, and she's like, "Now, Andromeda, you're not supposed to be harming the clients anymore. We've had a talk about this. You're never going to be adopted if you keep beating up every every prospect that comes this way."
I don't mind giving
She
her
I
a
want
round
to
or
see
two.
this. Darling, don't hurt her too badly.
She's like, unfortunately, we do have a policy here where the prospecting parents don't hit the children that they are trying to um uh
I won't
uh
touch her.
well, it I still think that this would be a little unsafe.
What if there's a waiver or something we can sign?
Something tells me that she can handle herself, but that's fine.
She and she kind of huffs and everything. And she's like she's not worried about her. She's not worried about me being hurt, you idiot, and kind of turns around and walks away.
Can I walk after
I
her?
What's that?
Can I walk after her?
I mean, she only goes off to just the side to go like start placing gear back onto a weapons rack that's right there. I mean, she
um
only steps a couple feet away.
I just turned to Argos, my fox, mechanical fox, and I'm like, remind you of anybody when they were young? Yeah, she certainly has a fire in her heart.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. What now?
I want to try to like walk up to her and have like a private conversation away from whatever the receptionist's name was or the chick we were dealing with.
Okay.
I'll go up to the head mistress. What was your name again?
Actually, it's right there. It is
It doesn't matter.
Ophelia.
Ophelia. Well, could you show me
Wow,
around?
did you just tell her her name doesn't matter? It doesn't matter what your name is.
Harry,
Can
I'm
you
a fucking
please
roll today, bro.
you can please show me around to some of the other children that you have here? I'm gonna just try to distract her while
Okay. And
Uthor has a conversation.
sure. And so she does, and she kind of takes you around and begins to talk about the other students that are performing around the room. So Uzanor, you walk up to her and you see her kind of taking off her leather braces and setting armor back onto the racks.
Has she put her weapon away?
What's that? Yeah.
Has she put,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, she's currently just disarming everything. She's taking her shoulder pads off. She's still got her weapon belt on and everything. She hasn't put that away yet.
But did she put her weapon on the rack or did she like sheath it?
No, it's sheathed.
Your talent shines in this place, darling. How do you like it here?
She's she kind of stops and she like puts like has her like her shoulder pads in her hands here, and she puts it down. She turns back and what is hold on, let me see the line she says. Uh, So she kind of turns and looks over at you, and she's like, let's see, I eat all 4 food groups and look both ways before crossing the street. We 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 work hard and we play hard here. They treat us very well, and she begins to go on this very rehearsed thing, talking about how excellent life is here.
And I'll lean in and whisper in her ear, "Come, darling, you can drop the theatrics. I genuinely want to know."
She's like, "Look, what do you? Well, actually, no. Give me a persuasion check. You have an amazing persuasion, so."
31, I natural 20.
Of of course. It's she's like, "Look, it's an orphanage. We're stuck here until we're able to get out. This isn't exactly the life any of us chose. It's the one we got, so it's the one we deal with."
Um, do you hate your circumstances, or are you doing everything you can to free yourself from your current bondage?
Free ourselves. Everyone likes to, she kind of looks around, she's like, everyone likes to think that, that this is some benevolent place, that headmaster Uthor is just this excellent great guy. But the truth is, we're basically prisoners here. We're stuck here until we get old enough to opt out of here, or we possibly die in one of the missions that we get sent on.
Do the majority of the other students feel this way?
She's like, well, I mean, to like everyone feels differently in their own ways, but I would say there's it's not unreasonable to think that most would rather be anywhere else but here.
Do you hold sway over your other students? If you called for their aid, would they come?
She kind of looks down, and she's like, she's like, look, if you're looking for some sort of leader, you might want to go and talk to one of the golden children on Grey. I'm not the one you're looking for.
But my darling, you have never met me. How do you know what I am looking for? I see character in your eyes. You've led a hard life. Those golden children can't begin to understand what you've gone through, but I can. I can get you out of here. I can put your frustrations to good use.
Hmm. She She's like, yeah. And what type of use would you be looking for me for? So she's like, that's exactly the problem. Everyone in here is trying to use one of these kids to do something for their own to their own advantage.
Well, see, I came in here looking to adopt an orphan. But let us say, I'm here looking for things other than orphans as well. If you could...
She kind of at that point, she kind of stops and looks you up and down. She's like, what other things do you want to do with these kids?
No. I am older than all these children in this room put together. I do not go that way. I am here for simply it's a long story. Tell you what, I will contact you later and we will have this conversation. But I'll leave you with this. Everyone in your life is going to use you. You have to figure out how to use them back. And I'll walk away.
All right. Okay. All right. That's pretty good. So hey, why don't we go on ahead and take a quick break here? We'll take a quick 10-15 and we'll be right back. I hope you guys are gonna be here when we get back. See you in a second.
And live.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for waiting for us while we got some more coffee and are getting back into this. Okay, so if you were just here watching a second ago, they were currently infiltrating the orphanage and gaining some information, meeting some new characters. So current right now, I believe we are at Uzanor and Terry, who are communicating with some of the children. Though Uznor, you just finished your conversation with Andromeda, and Terry, you're currently just kind of distracting Ophelia as you are walking around with her and admiring the other students and such.
Yeah. So
I
I'm just. Oh, I was just gonna say to her, coming here, I did not realize you had such talented children. Do you attribute this to?
was like, well, not all the kids that arrive here have talents of those that you see, but this land lends itself or it this land is peculiar. It seems to awaken things within individuals and
Certainly.
give them the ability to expand themselves beyond what they would have been able to do in their own home planes.
Might
So
I
one
might I see, if you will, is it one of some of the children not quite as extraordinary as you put it?
um as I said, most people here they develop some sort of um ability one way or another. This
And
is
I
it's just
would love to find the talent in those that you have not been able to see yet.
uh
So,
sure. Well, here, why don't I take you to? She kind of looks around and she's like, "Well, we do have some newer kids that have just recently come into our fold. Uh, their um their original parentage had brought them in, and they had all suffered a very horrible fate. Only a few of the children were left alive afterwards, and they were brought into the city. Some of them have adapted uh, slightly, and we are now willing to introduce them into the company of the others. Here, follow me this way. And she kind of brings you around, and it's a section of the library that there's a little bit less light over here. Um, it gets to be like more candle lit and such, and you're hearing like some strange music coming from beyond. And as you get a little closer, you see uh, there's a strange red light emanating from the candle light around, and this odd music, this very um with heavy music seems to be emanating from them. And you see several of the kids like kind of like all just like sitting around and like just kind of staring off aimlessly with like long black hair like draping down in front of their eyes. They seem to to be very um sullen, for a better
um,
word.
like ring girls, like kind of scary looking.
They are definitely the goth kids of the school.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So I'll go up to one of them, and I'll be like, "Hi, my name's Terry. Um, Listen, I don't know if you heard over there. I might have come off as a little bit of an asshole. I'm actually kind of well liked and a hero of the people. Uh, don't pay attention to what happened before. Um, I'm actually an orphan myself. I lost my parents as a little boy. What is your name?"
kind of the girl kind of looks up at you and kind of flicks her hair out of her face, like looking up at you, and she gets this real heavy makeup on, like around her and everything. And she she's like, oh, so you think just because you lost your parents too, that you know what hardship is?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Um, you could go like just a little lighter, and I think it would actually bring out more of your natural beauty.
I need to stop putting you in contact with not just females, anyone. Like you just don't. um,
I am a well-liked hero of the people. I told her that, and it's her choice not to believe me. But anyway, no, I mean,
and like
I,
you just don't get it.
Sorry.
I absolutely do. My parents died when I was young. Like that is the same thing that happened. Uh, but I was young once. I get it. You don't think anybody understands, but you know, you're
And
naive. So
so as you're looking around, you see that a lot of the kids have these books out in front of them, and
reading is
they have
important.
they have these very like dark names to them, like like the Necronomicon and but you
Oh,
like just very very dark reading and everything. But it's also things that you've known and you've seen that aren't exactly like very powerful books, but it's definitely stuff that someone who is interested in the dark arts, it's like it's the gateway.
right. The Necronomicon, isn't that like for written for tweens that you know about some dystopian future? It's and handsome devils, like shiny handsome devils that come and save the princess. Yeah, that's fine. Um, it nurtures your feeble minds. I get it. To think that you know, bad is sexy. I get it. It's fine. You could read those books. They're written for you, for
and like
tweens.
for all right so
I'll take the lot.
at this
I
point
like all these children.
yeah, um and okay, all right, and at this point you're like, I'll take the lot, I like the, and you turn around and there's like, she wasn't there a second ago, but now there is a little girl with pigtails in her hair, little bows in there, a little dress on her, and she's holding a teddy
This
bear.
one. You seem more my speed. You are cute as a button. That's a little cute teddy bear. What's her name?
She's Mr. Boom Boom.
Mr. Boom Boom. That's so cute. This is my little friend Argos.
and and she kind of like hides behind it. She goes, "Hi,
It's okay. He won't hurt
Argos."
you. He won't hurt you. I'll tell you a secret. He used to be a very powerful mage, but now he's a mechanical fox.
And she's like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, he was my master. He was my friend. Now he's a mechanical fox.
Oh, that's so cool. And she kind of pets Mr. Boom Boom, and she's like, yeah, Mr. Boom Boom used to be different too.
Oh, yeah?
It's like, yeah, he used to be a big barrel.
A barrel?
Yeah,
Okay.
a big barrel. And she
Okay.
kind of hands them to you.
Okay. When I feel a bear, a stuffed bear.
Yeah, it's stuffed bear.
So cute. Um, Let me ask you, little dear, do you like it here? Are you having a good time?
And she goes, oh, yes, I'm having a good time. I eat all four food groups. I look both ways
Important.
before crossing the street,
For your
and
safety,
I
that's good.
3 square meals a day and have regular naps.
No snack time?
And she kind of looks around. She's like, ooh, snacks. ooh, snacks. I have snacks. Hold on. And she kind of walks away to go get some snacks.
I'll follow her if I may.
Okay. So you start to you start to follow her, and like you pause for a second. You're like, oh, you're like looking for like where to kind of place the bear down, and you're looking at it. You're like, man, this bear's kind of weird. And like you stop because you're hearing like a like ticking coming from it. You kind of look at the bear, you look down at it, and you see this kind of like gear in its eyes. You notice that its eyes like are little gears, and they're kind of like twitching, and they like
Can I
seem to be
roll like a Tinker Tools check?
sure.
Um, I imagine. So I'm proficient in that. Would you think that's an intelligence check?
Sure,
guess.
sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, an intelligence check.
So
I would say give it an
proficiency at
Arcana
4.
check. I mean, that would kind of work for you. Like, I mean, you've got Tinkerer's tool, so advantage on an Arcana
That's a
check
15 then. 15.
with advantage.
With advantage?
Well,
Yes, 15.
okay, all right. It's weird, but I mean, a mechanical toy is not anything too strange. Um, uh, not at all.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my my little talkie boxes and just be like, "My name's Boom Boom. I love you," and try to attach that in there.
Okay. And so you got that and everything, and you go and you open up the back, you kind of
This would
pop
be
this
a
little
nice
Velcro,
treat for her.
and you pop this little Velcro thing open, and you see several sticks of blasting powder, like a small, well, not the sticks. You
Oh,
see like a small crate that's marked blasting powder. It's a little barrel.
how cute.
Make me a dexterity
Um,
saving throw.
I'm going to try to toss it up in the air as high as I can. I rolled a natural 1.
Okay. All right, Ethan. Distraction caused. It's if ever anybody was waiting for a signal, um, there is the signal. So Tass, you're kind of sitting outside, and both you and Littlefoot, you're kind of meandering around, and Littlefoot, it's well, both of y'all. It's nothing that's you don't it's muffled a little bit, but you definitely hear a noise, and you see a couple windows just get blown out, and smoke's kind of drifting out of the out of a couple windows of the orphanage. People are inside, kind of curious, but they go about their business. But you definitely can notice a few, like those on the inside of the gates. The gates like close like right away, and they study, like you can see people like scurrying around on the inside.
Oh, that's probably good. That's probably very good.
It's,
Does Uzinor, was I like really far away from Uzinor? And what happens to me? Am
oh
I
no, no,
Okay.
we're gonna come back to that one in a second.
Okay,
Are-
good.
So
Are we near the
Ethan,
gate that closed?
Yes.
your distraction did go off. Unfortunately, it didn't go off the way that you were wanting it to. You might have distracted the person you were trying to gain the attention of.
Yeah,
It's
I hear that. Because I
um,
don't.
yep. So you're kind of in a position to where you can see what's happening, and you're looking around. You're kind of like scratching your head and looking down at this, and you got your head kind of cocked to the side. You're like, well, it's not what I wanted to do, but man, that is hilarious. It's so like, what would you do at this point?
Well, at this point, I'm
Well,
assuming.
first, first we should talk about what actually just happened there. Your little explosion, kind of. I mean, it blew bookshelves out and stuff like that. It wasn't as much like damaging force and everything, but what is interesting is what comes after that.
Is it the damage roll?
Well, let me see here because I got to get this compendium up for it real quick. What do you mean it's unavailable?
Oh, that means that it's not available.
Well,
Oh.
I refuse to believe that.
I tried.
Why don't you draw something? Draw me a card.
Draw you a card.
Yeah.
Okay. I drew the King of Hearts.
The King of Hearts.
Probably a good one.
Oh, cool. All right. Man, it'd been great if you got that ace. So let's see here. So there's this great big explosion and smoke kind of like fills the area, and when the dust kind of settles and clears, Terry, you were blown down. You're now like you got like parts of a bookshelf on you, and you're covered in books and stuff like that, and you kind of pick the book off from your head, and it's some sort of strange drawing of like tentacles attacking attacking a lady. Kind of looking at it, you turn the page, you
Tentacle
look at this,
form.
but you just chuck,
You're looking
chuck
at
that book to the side. um,
Mhm.
and so you chuck that to the side, and standing in the middle of the room is literally, let's see, are these five like armored men. The dust is kind of settling around on them, and they all have this kind of well, I don't know, how would you make them look? You get to make them choose however you would want. What would you do with them?
They'll probably be like, "Halt! You have committed a crime." And then the dial options from Blue Nose show up.
I
And-
mean, I was trying to jailbreak that bear to make it talk. I know it was against the manufacturer's recommended.
Jailbreak.
The bear.
Phrasing.
but it wouldn't be
You
something
have
that
voided
elaborate.
the project's warranty. Now you must pay the price.
I think I would take this opportunity to message either Littlefoot or let's see, what was your name, Tess?
Celeste.
Elise. I think we botched this recon. We botched it. I don't know what happened, but
Great. It's just what we want to hear.
Yeah, you just like, because you just hear his voice, you don't really know exactly what's going on, so you're just kind of wandering around trying to find his voice. So what would y'all do?
I'm gonna try and get closer to the gates that had just shut. Is that like the best, or are
okay.
there other
Well,
entrances?
so here's the thing. It's okay. The gates actually didn't just slam shut, but you can see that people are going in order to try to make that happen. You are quick enough. You might be able to sneak your way in there if you want to try to get through the front gate. If you don't want to do that, there are other ways around. But you did notice that the place is I mean, it's almost a little fortress. I mean, it's designed to keep people in and out. It's not. It's not. It's not a regular market for anything. So anywhere else would probably require you to try to scale a wall.
Wish I was a monk. Yeah, I'm gonna try and sneak through either the gate or one of the other gates. I'm sure they're being shut, but maybe aren't as heavily guarded.
Go on ahead and give me a stealth check.
That works. 21.
Awesome. So there's a few people, like there's a cart, like they're trying to get the cart out at the last second, and shut the gate on it, and you kind of use that chance to, pull your little scarf around you and just kind of slink right on in and by a few of the people. Now you can see a better view of the panes of glass that had kind of gotten blown out of one of the southern walls, and you can see the smoke kind of drifting out of it. There is there's not many entrances over there, but there is a door that would be close by, and that's probably the same one that would have led them through the library.
Is the window on the upper
It,
story or a lower story?
it's a lower one.
Can I just go and like try to look through the window first? Sneakily.
Sneakily. Sure. So you kind of go up, and the window is still pretty tall up, even though it's on a lower floor. And you're kind of looking around to see how you can look into it, and there's a tree not far back, so you kind of you walk over to it, and actually, what am I talking about? You walk over to it and you can just levitate right up to the top of the window and peer into it. I mean, you are a drow. These are things that you can do. So you levitate right up to the top of the window, and you're looking inside, and you see like dust all around, pages blown up, and they're like falling, like drifting around through the air and stuff. And there's like a couple kids like laying around the grounds, and like one of them is talking about just getting her eyeliner done just right, and now it's all ruined. And you see Terry talking frantically as he is surrounded by guards.
I'm just gonna keep watching and see how that one plays out.
That's excellent. Littlefoot. I all right. I love it. Okay. Give me a stealth roll. I'll give you advantage on that because I really like the idea of it. You know what? No, you need to give me a stealth roll and a deception roll. It's can't hear you.
They both
Let's
have
see.
advantage, right?
He's just rolling him. We're gonna average him out. Okay, 18 for
Okay.
stealth. That's good. 12 for deception. So that lands you at about a 15, 16. That's not horrible. Let's just see what the dice say about that. Damn. You got it. You did it. And there's guards, and they're like panicking as you're running towards you. They got their hands out, like they're like they don't really know how they're gonna stop you. You're a freaking giant that's running after them, and all of a sudden you're gone, and you got right around them, and you're just looking, whistling around, and you're kind of looking at them, like looking over their shoulders, or like what they're standing there braced for, and you just turn, just walk away. So you let's see. Tass, you obviously see him come in. Like, that's you heard him yelling, wait, 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 and you see this all happen with the guards, and you see him like standing right behind them, and they just don't even pay any more attention to him. And he's now just strolling through the yard. Sure.
Well, I'm also trying to like get you to come over to the window quietly.
So so what I'm imagining right now is you literally just pulled like an anime, and you're just like, I'm just an average 15-year-old high school student. I mean, you're still massive. I mean, you're still like everything that you are, but you're just now a high school student. Um. Okay. All right. So you're strolling on over. You've got.
So when he does that, I'm also going to cast Disguise Self. But I'm going to make myself look like that guy I talked to at the bar.
Oh. Okay. All
I
right.
just kind of like look him up and down when he's disguised self, and I like get this haughty expression, like I don't want him to think that he had a good idea, and then I'm going to do it.
All
Why
right.
do you
Okay.
tell me to come here?
Well, look through the window. That's Terry. He just blew everything up.
So
No, Terry's not that kind of guy. He wouldn't.
He's definitely that kind of guy.
Terry's been brash, and he may have incited like fights over race, and he could be like in some
And
ways
from the inside, you hear,
just
"Get the gnome!"
It's Terry.
Where's this window? Is it up on like a second floor or something? Like
No,
like
it's
he's
just
levitating?
higher up. It's probably
You would
for
probably
you.
have no trouble seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, you would probably be able to reach up and pull yourself up to it,
Okay, I'll do just that then.
and just and now your big ass ears just came up above the thing. And you're kind of looking at it like in there, and
They like flop down a little bit, got a little something going on.
And so they look, there you are. There's Terry surrounded by by five guards.
So I'm just looking up at them. I'm like, I really don't know what's going on here. I swear, I just came here to see the children.
And at this point, also like Ophelia kind of like puffs like some like gets herself together and looks over, and she's like, who are you? And she turns and she looks at you. She's like, are they with you? We're under attack.
She looks at me.
Yeah. No. Then she turns and just yells it off. Alarm! Alarm!
Okay. What is within 10 feet of me? Any children?
Rubble, and yeah, sure. There's a couple children. Are you going to
Okay.
use them as in? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Never mind.
Children around me within 10 feet.
Bulletproof shield.
Flashbacks.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of them that are. No, you know what? They all got knocked away. You're probably pretty clear with things around you. Everything got kind of like knocked away from the center of the explosion, and
All right. So I'm just going to grab Argos and say, I don't think we're going to be able to talk ourselves out of this one. And I'm going to thunderstep. So when I thunderstep, I can take one thing with me. I'm taking Argos up to
120 feet.
Is that how far I can move?
Thunderstep is
I
90
think so.
feet? Thunderstep is big.
object.
90 feet.
90 feet. Yeah, I thought it was 90 feet. So yeah, I'm gonna go. If I could clock Uzanor, I'm gonna try to end up around where he is.
Sure, you could do that pretty easily.
All those guards, whatever they are, take 3d10 thunder damage on a failed Constitution save if they pass.
All right. Okay. So with like a loud explosion and release of energy, you kind of pull everything in as you create this like this concentrated energy, and then when poof it releases, you teleport out and away, and it hits everything that is around you.
So Lucian would disappear. Or
Well,
would,
I mean,
get
yeah,
hit.
he does. He also doesn't really know what's happening to them at that point. Uzanor, as you're currently walking away from Andromeda, you hear this huge explosion, and like all of this stuff goes on over there, and you're kind of like looking around to see what's happening, and then another like loud explosion, and Terry pops up beside you.
I
like
know.
riding his mount, just appearing out of the warp.
Listen, I know it's useless to say that this isn't my fault because everyone is going to blame me. So I'm not even going to argue the point. But we're in the shit now.
Right. I'm going to turn in the direction that Andromeda went. I'm going to cast message at her and say, now is the time that you decide your fate. You must come to our aid. Rally your men. It's time to escape.
Oh, and as Terry poofs out the room, I'm gonna be like, oh, fuck, and I'm gonna cast fog cloud in the center of it. So a 20-foot radius of fog fills up that entire room.
Nice.
Smart. Good little.
I believe now is the perfect time for us to go ahead and call this, and we'll pick it up next time. So, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed our episode today. Come back in next time and let's see what happens with the with this group and how this pans out for them. All right, we'll see you next time. Make sure to catch us.